Bitcoin's going to zero. Just kidding. Actually, it has dropped, though, around 10% over the last couple of days. And also, too, the stock markets have dumped pretty well, too. And so what does that mean for Bitcoin? How low can it go? We'll talk about that, so keep watching. Hey, welcome to BlockRoots. I am Josh. On behalf of my co-founder here at BlockRoots, Kenner and Clark, we just want to say welcome. And if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do that below. It's really easy. Just click the red button. And as far as that goes, each and every week, if you do engage in the videos by leaving a comment, we will pick a random winner for $100 of Bitcoin for a giveaway. So it's really easy. Just click subscribe and then go ahead and comment or engage below on this video and any video that you watch. And by the way, we're going to give $100 of Bitcoin away today. So if you did comment this week on the only video that we actually had, because we've been actually doing a lot of live streams, but if you did comment on that, make sure to keep watching because we're going to give $100 away to one person who commented, randomly selected. Now, if you're into non-sensational Bitcoin analysis, Bitcoin is going to 10 million, right? All those types of people, a lot of that is just to get your attention and clickbait. While we do use some fun commentary here, overall, we do like to be non-sensational. We like to be logical and practical and use analysis. So if you're into that, if you're into getting an edge on the market, talking about trading and investing and looking at potential important levels, make sure to subscribe, keep watching, and we'll go ahead and get into the Bitcoin chart right now. Nothing is financial advice. Now here on the weekly chart, it's pretty simple, right? We've seen that Bitcoin has pulled back around 3% here on this candle right here. I put this red dot line below because what that's going to symbolize is the previous open. And so meaning that if price does close below 9,445 on Bitcoin tomorrow, that means that we're going to have a candle, a lower low as far as that goes, as far as the close. Wouldn't necessarily be really bad, but in the end, yeah, you do want to see price go back above the weekly open and hopefully get back above 97.50 or so. That can happen. We'll go ahead and talk about that. But on the macro trend, right, again, as I talked about these candles here, or these wicks, we've seen with these badly drawn lines, but we've seen lower highs overall. And so we do want to make sure to continue to close out above the previous close, which is the local high, which is around 10,172. Can Bitcoin do that this week? I don't think it's necessarily going to happen this week before this weekly close, but I think over the process of the next couple of weeks, it could make its way back up there if it does sustain this level. So we'll go ahead and look at that. Now, also too, if you don't know, where does price need to stay above really, unless you want it to continue to drop on down below 8K, but it needs to stay above, at least on a weekly close, above 8,600 to 97 or so, something like that. If it does break below this right here, I do think that price makes its way back down at least below 8K, and that is on a weekly chart. So let's go ahead and look at the daily chart. Now, as we look at the daily chart, you're going to notice, again, these red boxes just symbolize important levels, especially on lower time frames. But then price has held pretty well below 10K. So the top level box right here was actually an area that has held as resistance, and we noticed that price did wick above that. It did actually close above that, but then broke right back down as a fake out. And so outside of that, we really haven't seen a lot of price action above 10K, which actually isn't a good thing because that's been a long-term resistance for Bitcoin. But after that dropped down to 9,100 on most exchanges, even below that on BitMEX, we saw that price continue to grind back on up before this recent 10% drop, okay? Now, let's go ahead and draw a trend line because this is what a lot of people are doing right now. Now, this, if you draw a trend line like this, the wick to the bottom here, you're going to notice that that's actually a bullish scenario, right? So trend lines are highly subjective. I don't like to use them too often, but a lot of people like to use them in their analysis. Good for them. If I actually then take the bodies, so if I go from the wick to the bodies, which you can actually do that depending, you're going to notice also too, depending on where I draw this at, that price broke below the trend line, went back up, rejected off that, and has since rejected off that again. So that can be, quote, bearish. Again, trend lines are highly subjective. Depending on how you draw it, it can be bullish or bearish. And so one thing that we can actually do is continue to look at horizontals, and we can actually look at the range as a whole. And by doing that, you're going to notice that if I take the top and bottom of the range, you're going to notice that price actually did drop down to the exact midline of this range from wick to wick, and it is held as support there. As many times it does like to do that, price, you can draw out ranges by quarter, so 25% of the range, 50% of the range, 75% of the range. You notice that many times that price will actually hold or bounce off those levels. So that's one thing that you can do if you're starting technical analysis as well. And as we zoom in here to the 4-hour, I do love the 4-hour chart because, again, it's intraday price action. A lot of important support and resistances will form here on the 4-hour chart. Now, one thing that I've already done, and I've actually shown this chart on Twitter, so if you've already seen this, that's cool. I'll go ahead and explain it. What we've got here, again, is the top of the range, the bottom of the range, and the midline of the range here with the red lines. Now, we've seen even on the 4-hour chart that price held above this midline range, which is typically a good sign if it's holding on the 4-hour chart. It didn't break below it, it was outside of a wick. But the issue comes with, I think that this is bearish for the fact that we need to reclaim above 9,800. Now, why 9,800? Well, again, what's interesting that this area has also held as an important resistance besides a couple of fake outs here and there, and that has kept price down. So again, we think that a lot of people will be selling at this level, so be on the lookout. If it does break above this level, I'm going to go ahead and draw it out, this black line, and holds it. I do believe that we'll continue to make our way back above 10Ks, and that would be a bullish scenario. Now, as far as a bearish scenario, really, we've just got down here around 8,400, 8,500. That has been the long-term area of support that price is held in this range. Now, this is just one giant range. It doesn't necessarily have to be bullish or bearish, but by looking at levels, we can pretty much determine where we see a bullish and bearish scenario take happen. So we're in between these two areas, which really means that, at the midline as well, we're somewhat neutral with maybe a bear bias until proven otherwise, right? Because we're currently in a downtrend. Now, this is the issue, though, because most of cryptocurrency trading markets, which most people don't know, it's purely a liquidation game. You've got these $1 million high leverage trades on these exchanges, and you see other big players want, in exchanges possibly as well, want to liquidate those people. So when you're late to the party, meaning if a price has already dropped and then you want to go short late, typically you're gonna see a bounce to get those late shorts. So late traders tend to be punished, whether they go long or short. And I've talked about that before. The best place to get in the trade is typically the wicks, and when you're late to the party, that tends to be a bad thing. So again, I've drawn out here the quarter percentiles here, and I think that price can actually move back above 9,600, maybe retest this and move on up as high as 9,800. So between 96 to 9,800, maybe even above. What that would end up doing is punish those late shorters, meaning that anybody who's 100x, 50x, possibly even 25x leverage short down here is going to end up getting liquidated if they don't move out of their position. After that liquidity is then grabbed, then we're going to move on down, and that's personally what I think will happen. Doesn't mean it will, because again, if price does reclaim this 9,800 level, that's a good sign, and that means that I think that we're going to continue to move on up. But that's currently what I'm looking at as far as a lower time frame. Now, if you've lived in a cave, you may have not noticed this, but the stock markets have also dropped pretty well too this week, over 7% from the recent high. Is that bearish for Bitcoin? Now, not necessarily, because what we saw is that all assets tend to go together correlated wise, meaning that if the stock market drops, which has the most money, we tend to see people take profits on gold and Bitcoin, and those sell off as well so that they can cover their positions here in the stock market. But as time has passed over the past couple of months, we've seen that correlation kind of go away. We saw that Bitcoin hasn't been as correlated with the stock markets, but recently with this drop in the past couple of days, we saw Bitcoin move along with it. Now, the regular candles right here represent the SPX or S&P 500, the stock index, right? And the orange line actually represents Bitcoin. And you're going to notice that it has had some similar patterns here with the price drop along with the stock market. So be on the lookout for that. If the stock market continues to drop substantially, very likely that we'll see some people who are invested in the stock market who also hold Bitcoin take profit on Bitcoin sell at around $9,000, $8,000, and maybe push the price down even more to cover themselves with the stocks. But if we see stocks bounce hard here, I think that Bitcoin can continue to trend on up. Doesn't mean that it will, though. Again, it's not 100% correlated. Typically, there's a mild to moderate correlation, and correlation tends to increase as all things drop, specifically the stock market, as the stock market drops. But I do think that in the end, I would rather look at the Bitcoin chart by itself than to really base everything off the stock market. Again, 9,800 or above, 8,400 and below, bearish, bullish, that's the scenario. Make sure to keep an eye out on those levels. Now, before the last news here, we also want to give away $100 of Bitcoin. And even before that, I want to tell you a little bit more about BlockRoots and what we did this week. If you are a fan of Discord, go ahead and make sure to check out BlockRoots. I will actually put the link below. Now, this is a 2-day free trial when it comes to the Discord community at BlockRoots. Typically, it's $49 a month or $397 a year, which is actually pretty dirt cheap compared to most things if you see when it comes to trading platforms. But we will give you access to the Discord 2 days for free. If you want to check out our live streams, if you want to participate in the chat, totally free for 2 days. Just sign up, go to the free trial page and type in trial. I'll put the information below. But as far as that goes too, you will have access to BlockRoots.com in the dozens and dozens of videos that we have teaching on trading. Regardless if you're an amateur trader, you're just beginning, we've got a lot of good stuff there for you if you're looking to get an edge on the markets as far as that goes. But if you want a free 2-day trial to the Discord, check it out. Go ahead, and I'll put the link below. And if you're interested in the educational platform and maintaining in the community, again, just go to blockroots.com and join there. We would love to have you, as far as a lot of people have given a lot of good feedback, and we hope to help you and support you as well. Now, with that said, let's go ahead, give away $100 of Bitcoin, and the winner is... This is All In One is the winner this week for the $100 of Bitcoin because they commented on the Coinbase, the deletion of Coinbase in Brave browser on that video earlier in the week, and they talk about deleting the account and downloading the transaction history, and make sure that you do your due diligence with that. But anyways, All In One, you have won $100 in Bitcoin, so go ahead and you can leave your address, and we'll make sure to send that to you. Congratulations. And again, if you're interested in winning $100 of Bitcoin in that giveaway each and every week, make sure to subscribe and then comment or engage on our videos throughout the week. Now, to end the video, as far as the big news, again, if you live in a cave, you may have not noticed this. If you don't know who Craig Wright is, you're probably new to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, but Craig Wright is the guy who has claimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, over the past 10 years. And he has tried and tried and tried, and a lot of people don't think it's true. Personally, my own personal opinion, I don't believe it at all because there's been no proof. But the funny thing is that you can check this out over at Fluffy Pony over on Twitter at his account, as he shows you that Craig Wright may have admitted, or his lawyers accidentally admitting to be the people who stole 80,000 Bitcoin from Mt. Gox, or to have access to that wallet or address, which that would be pretty big news and drama because a lot of people have been waiting to get paid out from that Mt. Gox hacks over the past few years. So again, check out more on Craig Wright. Not going to go in big detail about it because, again, we like to stick to technical analysis here and just give you a lot of good value. Now, the only other story that I want to share today is from Eric Savix. Eric, again, is on Twitter, and basically what happened is he was fish scammed from his hard wallet, his KeepKey hard wallet, because he downloaded a Google Chrome extension browser that said KeepKey, had the logo of KeepKey and everything to store his Bitcoin, and he was going to use that to transfer and to use that through Chrome. The only issue was that was actually a fake phishing scam. And so a lot of scammers can actually put in Trezor, Ledger, KeepKey, all these hard wallets software into the Play stores and stuff like that. And if it's not noticed immediately, people can download it, use it, and actually give away their private key. So the big news about this is stay safe, stay secure. Make sure if you're downloading anything that it's from the actual website from the hard wallet company, because you don't want to get scammed. He lost 12 Bitcoin. Now, if you're a giving person, if you happen to be able to give back, Eric has his Bitcoin wallet here on the second tweet here. You can check it out. There it is. If you want to give back to him, I think he's received around, half a Bitcoin. He lost 12. Again, he seems really genuine. I tend to have a pretty good radar when it comes to scams, and I think that he's really being genuine. And Keep Key as well has also admitted that to this phishing scam. So with them admitting to it, we hate to hear this, but it's really important that you guys stay safe. And so make sure to look out for that. If you want to give back to Eric, that's his information in his wallet below if you want to read more about his story. And with that said, guys, go ahead and continue to keep an eye on Bitcoin. We want to make sure that we close above 9,800. So if we can do that on the 4-hour, we want to stay above 8,400. If we drop below that, I think we're going to continue to spiral on down sub 8K. On the weekly, again, we want to stay above 8,600. Hopefully it doesn't drop that far down as far as this week. And you guys continue to stay safe out there. Make sure to subscribe. If you have not yet subscribed, click the red button below. Make sure to comment and engage. We'll put you in that $100 of Bitcoin, that giveaway of $100 of Bitcoin. And hey, enjoy your weekend. Have a great day. We look forward to seeing you guys soon. Make sure to trade effectively, and we'll see you on more videos for this week. Thanks, guys.